Hi, continuing my series on animals and learning about them, thus learning to love, respect, and have empathy for them. Today's video is going to be about gorillas and humans. I'm also going to compare and contrast a little bit too. Okay, so quick facts on gorillas. They are the largest primates, apes of Africa. Their arms are longer than ours because a lot of times they will walk on their knuckles. There's only about 100 to 200,000 left. They are endangered, mostly due to human activity. They share 98% DNA as human animals. Yes, we are actually animals too, or Homo sapiens, 98% DNA. Their lifespan is typically 35 to 40 years in the wild because they are susceptible to things like diseases. They don't obviously have medicine and such. Their height is typically 4.5 to 5.5 feet tall, and they weigh anywhere from 200 to 400 pounds, depending on female or male. The males obviously are a little bit bigger. They are herbivores, and they actually have a big, huge, pointy canine, which is made for biting or fending off predators or as a tool. So they do have a huge carnivore, but they are herbivores. They are important for seed dispersal, so they're good for the ecosystem. They mostly eat from fruit trees, bamboo, obviously fruit, and leafy plants, and they get most of their water from them as well. They are very smart. They use tools. They communicate with each other in dozens of sounds. Cuckoo, or K-O-K-O, is a type of sign language that is not the type of sign language. One that was studied, a gorilla that was studied named Cuckoo, could use sign language of over 1,000 different signs when they were taught and had a 2,000 word English vocabulary understanding. They have similar senses to us. They nest in the ground or in trees, usually made out of sticks and leaves. Their nose print is like our fingerprint, very individualistic. They have one offspring every 4 to 6 years and 3 to 4 total in their lifetime. So due to deforestation and poaching and killing and other human involvement, it's very hard for them to rebuild their populations. The oldest and largest is usually called the silverback. It's usually a male. And they make the decisions when to move, eat, sleep, rest. And then the young ones are called blackbacks. They usually travel or live in groups of 6 to 12. They're actually very shy and are not a threat to humans. They usually just poke out their chest or make noises to try to deter people when threatened or other species. But they are very rarely will attack, especially a human. Like I said, they're fairly shy. Their biggest threats are habitat loss, poaching, bush meat trade, diseases like Ebola. So mostly human causes. Other estimates have about 50,000 in Africa max. And my sources are Discovery Wildlife, Defenders Wildlife, Science Kids, and Live Science. So they are very smart, 98% DNA as us, and they're herbivores. Their intestines and brains are very similar to ours as well. Now let's talk about the humans. We have a lot of studies on them. We know a lot about humans because we study humans very well for medical reasons mostly. My sources are Live Science and The Guardian. So, some interesting facts. 1/4 of our oxygen is used for the brain. We have 32 teeth. Melanin determines the pigment. The less melanin, the more white. The more melanin, the darker the skin tone. Our heart beats about 1 million times a day. We have unique tongue and fingerprints, as Einstein did. And he said that the best chances of survival and health for human evolution is the evolution of a vegetarian diet. Einstein supported evolution and vegetarianism as one of the most important things. and for humans to evolve towards. It takes 12 hours to digest our food fully. We have very long intestines. This is why we get colon cancer, because meat can rot in our colons slowly. There's 300 bones in the human body, but some fuse together over time, like in our skull. It can fuse together. If you've ever seen a skull. So adults actually only have about 206 bones versus the 300 when we're younger. Bones regenerate themselves every about 7 years. It's kind of like our skin exfoliates over time. So actually we almost have a new bone every 7 years, and they can heal on their own if they're broken. We just put stents to hold them in place. Orthopedics is the medical study for skeletons. We have 650 muscles in our body. For our brains, the left side hemisphere controls speech and math. The right is more visual and auditory and creativity. The left or right part of your brain controls the opposite appendages. There's 8 billion nerve cells or neurons in the brain, with synapses and stuff that fill the gaps and control our chemical balances. The brain weight is about 3.3 pounds. The cerebellum is the biggest aspect of it. Our small intestine is 22 feet long. Like I said earlier, sometimes meat will rot in our colon. Our liver makes the bile or enzymes to break things down. Our heart now is about the size of your fist. Heart disease is actually one of the leading killers in America, and it's mainly from cholesterols only found in animal products. My thin and fit father had a heart attack at 42. Luckily, he was revived with CPR, or else he would have passed. And they did open heart surgery, where they cut open your chest, separate it, take apart the arteries, and replace them with veins in your legs and arms, the main veins, because they're clogged with cholesterol. Think of it as like this: cholesterol slowly shrinking it, less blood and oxygen, and it cuts off. So cholesterol, only found in animal products, is one of the leading killers in America. Cardiac or heart disease. Cardiology is the study of the heart. So that's about it for now. I hope you enjoyed this lesson talking about gorillas and humans. 98% DNA similar. Learn to love them by learning and respecting. The more we know, the more respect we can have for other species. Thank you, and look up a factory farm video. Thank you, and I don't see any canines here. For meat, at least. I couldn't rip apart a dog and eat them raw, or a pigeon on the street. Eat them raw. So who says vegans have no sense of humor? But if you're into science, look up lab-grown meat. That may be part of the future too. Thank you for caring, and look up the facts on animal products. It takes about 15 pounds of crops fed to a force-bred animal for just 1 pound of meat in return. So meat equals massive food waste. The only reason it's so cheap is because our government subsidizes it. It's best for our environment, veganism. One of the best things you can do for the environment, period. I don't want to go into detail on that in this video. And our health and our healthcare system, one of the best things you can do. And of course, for animals, you can save about 37 land animals per year, 35 of them being factory farmed birds. Look up a factory farm video, meatvideo.com. And we are the only species that drinks milk beyond infancy. And look up, again, factory farm birds and how cruel egg production actually can be. So thank you for caring. And here's the backside of my shirt that I designed. And human overpopulation is real. Thank you, and please share.